welcome back to YeahUhH with Lisa, Phil, and Aaron. This week we're talking to Deborah Henson Conant. Did I say that okay?
You did, actually, yeah.
Amazing. Okay. It's part of my job is explaining to my boss how to pronounce doctors' names. So, you know.
So you're adept at that.
Yeah. You know, Hussein Zada, Patil versus Patel, that kind of thing. Yeah.
Very good.
Mm-hmm.
So
she is a, I guess, proponent of hip harp, one of the premier electric harp players in the world. She created her own harp called the DHC, her initials, and she was nominated for a Grammy.
Wow, you're just killing.
If you want to go ahead and give us a little more about yourself.
Sure. What would you like to know? I mean, I started out, my first instrument was the ukulele, which is the people's instrument, and just kept getting bigger and bigger instruments. I started the harp when I was an adult, and I think I'm the person credited with taking the big concert harp, shrinking it down, strapping it on, and plugging it in. So this that you're seeing here is an electric harp, and it can sound like a harp, you know, like you're used to hearing that, but it can also sound like, or it can sound like, by the way, if you're not seeing this, I'm messing with the levers up here. It can also sound like blues, like. I'll be a sous chef, baby. You know, like, so there's stuff like that you can do, and it can also sound like flamenco.
Cool.
So what's been really exciting to me has been to take this instrument, forget preconceived notions of what a harp is supposed to be like. What are all the things I can do with it? What can you do with this? And what can you do when you take away the idea of harp and you think, okay, resonating frame, 32 strings. Now what is it? And that's when it starts to get really interesting. And I love to tell stories with music. So that's what I've been doing since I was a little kid, is telling stories with music. And amazingly, that's what the harp is great at. You know, like if you gave me a story to tell, I don't know, like one of the stories I've been thinking about lately has been, I've been really interested in metamorphosis, like how caterpillars become butterflies. I mean, we know how it happens, but what does it feel like to the caterpillar? So that might be a story that I might think about and actually play the music while I was talking.
Well,
now, I do have one question. We have we are aficionados of Weird Al, and I'm wondering about like how similar, how different would you the accordion versus the harp?
Wow, what a great question.
Thank you.
Well, here's all the things that came into my head. So an accordion, first of all, an accordion is played with air, and you know, and this is all about plucking strings.
Right.
And the accordion is a keyboard. Wow. And then the next thing I thought of was hearing people in Scotland with an accordion and harp. So hearing that together. And then the other thing that I'm thinking about is from a purely aerobic standpoint, which is you can wear this harp just like you can wear an accordion.
That's why I asked.
That lets you actually like move around with it. And I've seen accordion players who were just incredibly sexy and physical playing. And so I would say that there's a similarity there. But that is a great question.
Yeah, and I mean, it's just from
Mama's
a
got a
standpoint
squeeze
of,
box is all I can think of when you say sexy accordion. Yeah.
I know almost nothing as far as music and instruments go. I took music for a while, and the music teacher contacted my mother and suggested drama club.
Well, my first piano teacher suggested I should not come back as well.
Well, that's interesting. You bring up a piano.
Your thing. I mean, you went from ukulele to harp.
Philip had a question. There was a big long time in between that. I started the harp as an adult, pretty much.
Right.
But and when I went to my first piano lesson, I remember this because I was always playing music and writing stories and just, playing for fun, just playing. And I remember the teacher showed me some, you're going to play this. And I was like, well, that looks awful. And it was something about a rooster or something. And I looked at it and I was like, why and didn't anybody else ever play this before? And she said, yeah, people play this before. And I said, well, didn't they do a good job? And she was like, yes, they did a good job. And I was like, well, then why do you need me to do it? What, somebody's already done it. And then I went home and I said to my mother, can you just tell me how music works? Like, why do I have to do all this stuff that everybody else did? Just tell me how it works. And she basically did. She just kind of broke down, this is a chord, and you have one note, and then you skip a note, and then you do another note, you skip a note, and you do another one. Et voila, you have a chord, move that around, and then you have different chords in different positions. And then if you want to have, you call it 1, 3, 5, because you start on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if you want a 7, 6, 7. If you want a 9, 8, 9. So it made sense at that point. And then I was able to start playing around with it in my own way. Right. And that's how I teach improv as well. I teach it through patterns.
So when I look at a harp, I think, wow, that looks like you open a grand piano and look down inside of it, and that's what it looks like.
Yeah. Well, no, you're absolutely right. The inside of a grand piano is literally called a harp. And I'm pretty sure, I don't know the history really well, but I'm pretty sure that the harp was then put on its side, exactly, and then there were first there was the harpsichord, so they were plucking. Oh, I didn't even realize this. So they were trying to get the plucking motion, and then they actually used hammers to hit it with. But it's the same instrument. Big difference though is that the piano has, it has the black notes, and the harp is basically like all the white notes. And I'm doing something that right now people may not see it if they're just listening. I'm shifting the levers. So a minute ago it was in the key of E flat. Sorry. And now I'm changing it. Now it's in the key of C. So I change the tuning of the harp with these levers. And so at any time there's only 7 notes in an octave instead of 12. So on a piano you're choosing, oh well, I'm going to play these 7 notes, but on this you set it up. But that means that then you can do really fun stuff.
Yeah, it seems like you'd have a little more control over the creativity.
Yes, at least over the sound, because you can get in there and you can bend and like.
Get down and dirty with it.
Yeah.
Going to go to a romantic restaurant and be entertained by a strolling harpist?
We could.
Wait, what question was that? Would I like to be?
Do you think we're ever going to go? That we're ever going to go to a romantic restaurant and be entertained by a strolling harpist?
It's up to you guys.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, just where would we find that?
Oh, I don't know. That's a good. Oh, actually, I think I've met people. There's a huge tradition of harp in South America and Venezuela and Veracruz, and those people are often playing and strolling and walking around.
Okay.
But this is an electric harp, so you'd have to wear an amplifier on your body as well. But my very first job not my first job as a harpist, but one of my first jobs was playing with Denny Yale and the Regency Strings. So they would stroll around, and then every time, and then I would do one of these harpy things. This is going to sound really familiar to you, but I have to set it up first. One of these things like. When it was time for them to do something,
like a dream sequence on the Brady Bunch or something.
Yeah, flashback.
Very careful with the harp, because if you do this too much, you will actually go into a different dimension.
Huh?
No, I'm joking.
It'll take your mind off the.
No, that has never happened to me actually, but I keep hoping it will.
Don't we all?
That's just having an epiphany.
Alternative realities.
Well, I saw some of your stuff on.
Did I marry him in the other reality?
So I saw some of your stuff online, and I like your stage presence. You got sort of a rock and roll stage presence. It seems like In fact, I even saw you play. You did a really mean version of Jimi Hendrix' "Star Spangled Banner," I
Right.
think. Yeah. So,
Yeah, that
how'd you
was,
develop this stage presence?
huh. Huh, that is a really good question. You know, I think when I first started playing the harp, I kind of, oh, that's a great question. I wanted I wanted to look like a harpist because I wanted to how could I say this?
Have
I kind
angels'
of wanted
wings and
yeah, I wanted to look like a real musician. Like I had it that I was not a real musician, but I could redeem myself with the harp. And so I
Mm-hmm.
tried to be a real harpist, and I was so proud when I looked like everyone else, long black, gown, blah, 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 blah. But then I began to realize that that was really constraining me. And I went and I studied with a harpist named Corky Hale. I got an NEA grant, and she was a jazz harpist that I went to study with. And one of the first things she said to me is, when you walk out on stage, you need to look the way you're going to play. And I was like, no, 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 no. I want to look like a classical harpist and then surprise everybody. And she was like, no, 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 no. You have to be who you are completely from the minute you walk on that stage. And so I kept exploring that. And I just kind of started dressing in a way I wanted to as a kid. Like I loved cowboy boots. I lived in cow country. And so cowboy boots were like the thing. And then I always thought it would be funny to wear a short leather skirt. And the first time I did it on stage, nobody laughed. And I was like, oh, I guess this works. So I just kind of put together an outfit that really felt comfortable for me, that where it kind of looked risque on stage, but it was very comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, that's just kind of how I wanted to look. It's interesting as I get older, like, how now do I keep that same look or do I shift that? How do you kind of see yourself as you mature or whatever you want to call it?
right.
I
And
do. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
no, I love it. I was
Finish
going
your
to say
thought.
something. Well, I was going to say something about your pink headphones with the bunny ears, but
Oh yeah. It's actually cat ears.
oh,
It's
I
hard
meant
to
that's what I
see
meant. Yes.
because of the light, but
Right,
they light up. You know.
right.
We got them at I think it was Five Below. Okay.
Well, I don't want to I don't want to like take your outfit, and I mean I do.
Oh no.
Oh, it's giving you some ideas, huh?
It certainly is. Yes.
Copied by someone else.
Yeah, I could. Yeah,
So you're not taking my. One of our friends, Harley.
Hmm.
She has blue ones. Are they blue or green? They're blue.
yeah.
They also come with different, like you can buy different ones. Like you can buy bunny ears. You can buy puppy ears. That kind of thing. You can buy like one's just a unicorn horn, which this
Well,
is a short unicorn.
well,
You know,
yeah, right. A short or a unicorn
but
who's a
but
little bit
so
lopsided.
you can you can switch them out.
Well, let me ask you something.
Uh huh.
Why do you like wearing those?
I had to wear headphones. These headphones are actually comfortable. They have some personality. That's it.
So
She
I
saw Harleys and got jealous.
well,
And I
I think
didn't want to. I didn't want to go with the blue ones, and they were out of the green, so
so
I
I
got
think
pink.
I think you're kind of answering,
Yeah.
what I
Hmm.
said, I wanted to be comfortable, but it's funny because you're saying Harley and I'm thinking about a Harley motorcycle. I'm
Hmm.
also thinking was like what is the most opposite thing to a harp? And how could I like have that feeling
Hmm.
of um being engaged with a harp in a completely different way. And I
Right.
think that's also part of why I dress that way. And there's another reason is that I just wore things that I was not going to fall down on the stage. Like if I wore a long skirt or something, I would trip over myself. So there's all these reasons why we end up dressing the way that
Yeah.
we do in a way to feel comfortable.
Well, it probably brings more of a cross section of fans or people that are interested. I mean, if you go and to one of your performances, and maybe you don't know much about Ravel or like classical composers or something, and you start doing Jimi Hendrix or Black
Uh,
Sabbath or whatever it is, that probably attracts a lot of people. That would be
Yeah,
compelling. Yeah.
I think what happens a lot of times is I'll hear people say after the show, my wife dragged me here, or my friend dragged me here. It's like, but I went to be nice, and I could not believe what I heard. I couldn't believe those
Hmm.
sounds coming out of the harp.
Right,
But
right.
I think that that's, you know, for me, it's exploring something. Like what was interesting to, it wasn't interesting to me about like how to play harp music or whatever, but here's an instrument and here's a resonating body with 32 strings and these levers. What are all the things that you can do? What can that sound like? And like there's these other really amazing sounds like, you know, stuff like that. And you can tell stories with it. Like there's let's see. I'm gonna hit a looper here, and I'm gonna try to set up a loop. Let me see if I can do this. So now it's looped, and then I can.
Oh, nice.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
So it's almost like a soundboard.
Yeah. And then oh, this one. There's just different sounds you could make.
Yeah. It sounds like something from Saucer Full of Secrets or something.
Well,
Yeah.
it's called Under the Bed, and it's about all those, like, what are all those strange things that are under the bed? Like, why can you not sleep sometimes?
Yeah.
Those
Well, I'm
things
sorry.
under the
I didn't
bed.
mean to interrupt and interrupt.
Oh, no, that's
Good.
fine. Yes, but
Yeah,
it was just to show you, you know, how you can put different sounds. Ah, actually, there's another thing you can do that's really cool. I don't know how it'll sound, but I can take paper and I can put it through the strings. And I'm just kind of weaving it through the strings.
Nice.
Wow.
That just gives you an idea of the things that you can do the only tool that I had down there is a looper. So the looper just lets me loop in real time, but that lets me create a whole show just myself, which then means I can be spontaneous. Like if someone asks me a question, I can start answering the question with music. Like if you ask me a question now, I could sing it back to you if you wanted to, whatever it was.
Cool.
Well, okay. So let me ask you a question. I saw what was it like playing with Steve Vai?
Oh,
I saw that clip. We did a show on Steve Vai and a band that he was.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm a
you.
huge Frank Zappa fan myself.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know if I should play while I talk about this, but playing with Steve Vai, first of all, it was an incredible honor, and I thought someone was pulling my leg. When I got the email from him, I really thought someone had just done it to be funny. And so I didn't respond to him for like a week. And then I asked my ex, you know, do you think this could be really from Steve Vai? And he said, well, he's known for, you know, kind of collecting unusual musicians. And so I wrote back, and this person wrote to me, and I was like, they're still messing with me. And then he invited me to his show, and I was like, I know what's going to happen. We're going to go to the front door, and someone's going to jump out and start laughing. But it was actually Steve Vai. And preparing for that show was the hardest thing I ever did, because there was no written out music. What he did is he said, we're going to play this tune, this tune, this tune, this. You're going to play the electric guitar part on this. You're going to play the Hammond B3 organ on this. You're going to play this on this. I had to like hire a musician to help make charts. I had to hire another harpist to come in and help me figure out how to do it. She came and lived with me so that we could figure out how do we do this? How do we make this happen? I really wanted to do it, but it was so hard. And one of the things that was interesting about the tour is that everyone on that tour lost weight because it was like day after day after day after day after day for like 6 months. And it was so funny because they were like, yeah, my belt was like this at the beginning of the tour, and now it's like this. It was really intense, but I'm really glad I did it. I mean, my favorite thing, he is such a virtuoso, and the way he plays is like an opera singer. And I grew up with opera singers. And what I mean is that it's so over the top. And my favorite thing would be every town we went in, there would be like 2 guys in the front row. And they'd be like, they'd have their arms around each other looking at him, and they'd be going, did you see that? Did you see that? And they'd be like, oh, they were like opera fans as he played like his high notes. And I remember one night, I think we were in an opera house, and he played this note, and I was just like, oh my God, that's why people love opera. It's just glorious. And the other thing that I really loved about it was that I saw that he was showing a level of self-expression and showing men that they could have that level of self-expression that normally you just get with an opera singer, and yet it was just so masculine. So it was just really wonderful to be part of that and see that.
Did he have that Frankenstein guitar that he had? I mean, doesn't he have? He has this guitar that's like really wild looking. It has like 2.
He's got a lot of wild guitars.
Like 3 necks on it. I don't
remember. He wore outfits, and there was like light shows, and he had this wonderful guitar tech who just made sure all the guitars were working and everything like that. It was an incredible being able to play with some of the people that I've played with, and because the harp has given me access to so many different realms. Like to be able to play with a symphony orchestra, to be able to be with like Doc Severenson. I don't know if you know who that is. Like,
absolutely.
Yeah. He's an amazing musician, and to get to play with somebody like that, like he said to me once, there was a piece that I was playing, and it's this very, very, very simple piece. It's almost like a lullaby, and he said, I just felt so uncomfortable playing it because it was really simple. It was like, who will sing for the nightingale when the night is gone, when the daylight comes? Who will sing for the nightingale when she sleeps alone in the sun? So it's this just really beautiful, simple song.
Beautiful, yeah.
Lovely.
I was struggling with it because I was like, well, I'm like supposed to be this like virtuosic, like show-off person. And he said to me, stop.
Rock star.
Yeah, it was like, I'm supposed to be a rock star. How can I do something like that? And Doc Severenson said, stop. He said, don't do anything. He said, sing this like a child. And it was one of the hardest things I ever had to do, but in the opposite direction. In the direction of just like, just get out of the way.
Don't embellish.
Exactly. And let it out. So the opportunity to play with people like this, another person who had a huge influence on me was Marvin Hamlisch. So I got to he was a conductor, and I was writing music for a symphony that I could play, and he was great because he would be like, okay, the first thing you got to do, he said, you get out there, and the first thing you do not go and play some technique nobody's heard on the harp. He said, go out there and make it sound like a harp. Meet them where they know that it's a harp. Like the first thing you do. Well, I don't know, maybe that sounds like a guitar already, but let's just like this. And now now you can go. Now you can switch the technique. But he was like, first, let people experience what they know of the harp, and then you can go into the new territory. And it was really fun to work with him, because I'd come with a set list, and he'd say, okay, yeah, we can do your set list, but let's do it in this order now. He said, if we do it in this order, you won't get one encore, we'll get two encores. So working with these people and it was incredible. It's like, it's coaching I couldn't even pay for.
Right. That is amazing. You threw out some really, like Doc Severenson, it's like.
Yeah. Well, we
did you meet Johnny?
Right.
And what is it? Johnny Carson and I, ironically, that you mentioned Doc Severenson, Johnny and I share a birth date.
Well, I love Doc's
different years.
Well,
but,
congratulations.
And Weird Al. One of the reasons why I'm a fan of Weird Al.
I used to love Doc's coats, though, man. He had this really loud.
Oh, and
Doc is the best dresser.
Right. Yeah.
He was smooth.
Yeah. You get the feeling he came in off the golf course sometimes.
Right.
Is Doc still alive?
I think so. I
think he is.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, what's amazing to me, like we're mentioning those people, and I realized, well, yeah, I got to play with Bobby McFerrin, I got to play with Mason Williams, Classical Gas, all these people, and it was really because of the harp, because of the access that it gave me, and being able to improvise on it, and that's something that I'm trying to do for a new generation now. I mean, I wrote all this music for symphony orchestra so that I could be the soloist. And now I'm trying to transcribe it so others can play it, because it gave me this huge access. But the problem was I would go from premiere to premiere, and I would write out all the parts for everyone else. And for my part, I would just write ad lib. So it's like if you wrote a whole movie script and everything and all the camera angles and everything, but the main character, all their lines just say ad lib.
That's what Frank Zappa did. He would play with a symphony or whatever. He'd give them very specific things, and he says, I know this doesn't sound very professional, but I'm just going to be winging it.
Oh, yeah.
I want to be improvising out there.
Yeah, that's what I was doing. I was following Frank Zappa. Yeah, that's what I was doing. So,
yeah.
Right. But now I want to make this available for other harpists to play and other musicians to play. And so now I'm having to go back and transcribe it all, which I'm terrible at. So I actually have a team of other musicians.
You know who's good at it is Steve Vai. That's how he got into the Zappa universe to begin with. He transcribed, was the Black Page or something.
He's amazing, and he expected me to be able to do that, and I was like, I can't. I remember in rehearsals, I'd be like, well, what did you write? What do you want me to play? Write it down. And at a certain point, he was like, no more writing down. And I was just like, well, that's Steve Vai. But somehow we got it to work, which was great. It was really fun.
So would you say, is it fair to say that the harp is more, you can play music on the harp that maybe is almost physically impossible on a piano?
Yeah.
Is that fair to say? So you probably find it more interesting, don't you? I mean, for that reason.
I mean, I love the piano. That's my composing instrument, because everything's right there.
Well, that was my other question. Yeah, I was wondering.
Yeah, so I really love the keyboard for that, and it was ukulele, and then so I think of certain instruments for performing and certain instruments for creating. But as far as getting in there and being able to find sounds on the strings, I think part of what makes the harp so powerful is, first of all, it hasn't been explored. I mean, I'm sure it has, but we're used to harp music. It's just accessible. I mean, they're right there. There's all these. I feel like I discover something every year that's a sound I never heard before. I think, and this whole strumming thing is something I'm exploring. I keep exploring it. Like at first it was just, and then I was like, well, how can I play and then strum? What are all the different things that I can do with it? So I feel like, in some ways, well, I'm right at the beginning of this. And one of the things I've always wanted to do was to figure out how, like, mostly you have, like, this is your left hand and it plays, you know, bass, and accompaniment like that. And then, so my right hand's playing like a piano player would.
Okay.
But what if I could integrate them so I had one 8-finger hand? Yeah, like, I mean, this is just an idea. Like it, like. But I mean, I'm playing the same thing over and over again. But imagine if I could actually play that.
It has a cascading kind of effect, you know.
It has it's cascading because I'm just playing the same patterns over and over again. But if I could get my brain to actually think that fast and somehow think, I don't know, I just feel like I could play these really fast lines. I may never do that in my lifetime, but there's just so much different stuff. And here's one of the reasons. The harp, like the piano, your hands are like, you know, your thumbs are together, so your hands are opposite. But on the harp, it's right out in front of you, so everything your left hand does, it gives the same sound as your right hand. That and that it might not make sense to hear it that way, but the patterns are very powerful because you could be deaf and play by pattern on the harp. I mean, maybe you could on any instrument, but there's just something about the patterning on the harp that I really love. Like, it makes sense to my brain.
How versatile is that for left-handers?
Oh,
I mean, do they have left-handed harps, or do they just expect you to adjust? Well, that's one of the reasons why I didn't do well in music class.
Oh, because you were left-handed?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
That's part of it. I'm also completely
that didn't stop Hendrix.
I've been tested. That's not my fault.
Tone deaf and left-handed.
Was Hendrix playing the harp?
No.
Okay.
Well, he is now.
He is now, right?
That's right.
Once he earned his wings.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, theoretically, you could do it now, like on this harp. Like, I could play the fast stuff with this hand. Theoretically, I could do what Harpo Marx did, which is come over to the other side of the harp and do it like that. But then the levers aren't there. I think. Right. Hello.
Do you know if they make harps, left-handed harps?
You know, that's an interesting question. I'm sure someone could make one.
Yeah, you just have to put the levers on the other side.
Can you just turn it upside down?
You can turn it upside down, but you don't want to really turn it upside down. I mean, it depends. You could also play a harp without levers. It depends on what you want to play. Like, if you wanted to play really simple music, which would be great, you could do it with a harp that has no levers at all.
But yeah, well, but then that'd be taking so much off the table.
That you designed is a little bit different, so it's kind of newer, and maybe they just haven't gotten around to adjusting to. And it is 10% of the population, so
I see. Yeah. I mean, for me, you know, in a way, my whole life I always thought, why do I play the harp? Why do I play? I don't understand, because my whole life has been about stories with music. And when I first started, I was writing this musical called The Golden Cage, and I was like, how am I going to make a living while I'm writing this musical? And then I was like, I know, I'll play background music with the harp. And that's kind of how I started. And it wasn't until, you know, decades in that I started realizing, oh my God, this is like the greatest storytelling instrument. Like, if I want to tell a story, like, you know, there's a myth of a great bird, and she is called the phoenix. There is only one phoenix in all the world, and she flies over the entire world. And if she has a shadow of sunlight, and if that shadow should fall upon you, your heart and your mind will be opened forever. So this is a story song where the story talks about this and what happens to this bird and how it bursts into flame, and then it goes in. And I'm just shortening it. But you can see that it's such a beautiful storytelling instrument. And then you can transition straight from the story into the music. And I wear the harp on stage, so now that means I get to move. And I came from theater. I love one person theater. I love seeing one person create a world on the stage. And this harp lets me do that. Sometimes it becomes the part of my costume. I mean, imagine if it's on my body, it starts looking like I'm a centaur. Like, I have the body of a harp and the legs of a human. So it really has that magical transformative quality of transforming into anything. Like, it is theater. But I didn't realize that at first. At first I felt very, very constrained by it. And I had to work with coaches to start understanding how to get out of my idea of what a harp was and open it up so that it could start being anything.
Wow. So I'm really curious. Not all of our musical guests are composers, and we're always really fascinated with the most creative side of life. So, do you have any? What's your creation process like? You mentioned that you like to compose at the piano, but do you visualize the music in some way? Because I did read something where it said, I don't know if this is still the case, but at one point, you did not read music, right?
Yeah, that's right. I'm not a great reader, but I didn't read at all as a kid. And I started reading because I started writing this piece. I mean, I would write songs, and it's easy to write songs, and remember the melody, and then you write down the chords. But when I was 19, I started writing a big musical, and I sat at the piano one day, and I was like, what are you going to do? Memorize this? You're not going to be able to memorize it. And I was like, hello, you are illiterate. I mean, like, I realized you are illiterate as a musician and you need to go back to school to learn to read and write. So I did go back to school. I never got fluent at reading, but I can write, especially now that you can do it with a computer. Like, that changed my life to be able to do that. And that's how I was able to write as prolifically for symphony orchestra and stuff like that. But you're right, no. And I have a really hard time writing out the harp parts. That's why I work with a team. See, other harpists help me to do that.
Well, you have some really beautiful compositions out there that I believe are originals. Like I mentioned one, and one was called. It was a duo. It was not New Blues, but let's talk about Nightingale. That was particularly beautiful.
Yeah.
So would you be able to play a little bit of that?
Yeah, I already started a little bit of it, but I'd be happy to play a little bit more, and I can also tell you the story.
Okay.
So when I was a little kid, my mother, she was a singer, and she sang all the time. And we moved every year of my life, so we were always at different homes. But every morning she would come into my room, and she would sit on my bed and she would whack my pillow, and these dust motes would fly into the air. And they looked like golden stars, and so I would try to catch them. And then she would sing a song, and when she sang in the morning, she was my lark. And every night, she would come into my room, and she would sing a lullaby. sing for the nightingale when the night is gone, when the daylight comes. Who will sing for the nightingale when she sleeps alone in the sun? Many's the time her silken tones soothed my rough and weary bones. Many's the time her lullaby took me to my rest. But who will sing for the nightingale? Her own sweet song is silent now. Who will sing for the nightingale when she sleeps alone in the sun? Many's the time her silken tones soothed my rough and weary bones. Many's the time her lullaby took me to my rest. But who will sing for the nightingale? Her own sweet song is silent now. Who will sing for the nightingale when she sleeps alone in the sun? When she sleeps alone in the sun.
Wow, that was fantastic. We got our moment
Mm-hmm.
of 2026 right there. That was beautiful.
That was beautiful.
Really enjoyed that. Yeah.
Thank you.
The podcast golf clap.
Mhm.
Yeah, right.
Well, you don't want to take up all the. We only have an hour.
We don't want to bust any eardrums in.
Yeah.
So.
Exactly. Don't want to
So I don't want
blast
to take up
these.
what?
Well, we only have an hour, so we don't want to spend 5 minutes of it clapping. No matter,
I see.
no matter how much we enjoy the performance.
Okay.
Now, I can imagine that filling up a huge,
Yeah.
or I'm gonna say, well, it could be an amphitheater, it could be the Hollywood Bowl, or what? What is the biggest venue?
I made into a standing ovation, but I'm in a wheelchair.
Okay, got it.
What's the biggest venue?
God, I remember I was in Scotland and I remember going on stage and I was like, oh my God, this is an arena. But that, then you have to be like, yes, I'm playing the harp, but someone made this harp. Like this harp was created. I had the vision of it. One New Year's Eve, I had this vision. I want to play an electric harp. I'm wearing the harp. I'm playing with symphony orchestra, and I'm soaring over the brass section. And there was no orchestra pieces for this. There was no harp like this. But the vision was so strong. I kept telling everyone, I have to play with an orchestra. I have to play with an orchestra, and like put together this little string quartet. And then I started like trying to strap on all these instruments. And eventually I went and I talked to a lot of harp builders, and they all tried to build something, but from my description, what they came up with didn't work. And then I came home, I made a prototype. If we were downstairs, I could show it to you. I took a little brown harp, I covered it with red and silver contact paper. So it looked like a Stratocaster to me. And then I took it to France. I took it to the most visionary harp builder, a man named Joel Garnier. And I said, Joel, this is what I want to do. And I strapped it on. I said, I want to go like this. Whack, 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 whack. Like that. And he said, Deborah, now I understand what you want. And in fact, this whole story of this, how the harp got built, that's my TEDx talk. My first TEDx talk is just that. You get to hear the whole story. And he was the man who initially built it. And by the way, people can go to my website, which is hipharp.com. That's hip as in cool, harp as in the instrument. And from there, you can see where I'm playing. You can see videos. You can see videos of me playing with Steve Vai and Mason Williams. And you can get to the TEDx talk and my next show that's at the end of January. But the builder, he's the one that made this happen. Because the next time I saw him, he had created the first prototype. And he and his protege, after he died, they kept working on this for years. And for years, nobody else was playing it. So they were just investing for me. And there got a point. But what happened is every time they improved the harp, it got heavier. And it got heavier and heavier until I couldn't wear it anymore. And at that point, I was like, this doesn't work. And they were like, well, we've spent as much money as we can on this. And I said, look, you're in France. Can you go to the bike builders? Like they've already figured this out, right? They use carbon fiber, and look at the harp. It's like a bike. If you put wheels on it, it's like a bike.
It is.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that's what they did. And so as I've been told that this harp now is built at a bike factory, though they won't tell me what bike factory. And now people
evil.
What?
Evil.
Is that it?
That's evil that they won't tell you.
It's evil that they won't tell you.
Oh, evil. That's okay. That's okay. They can tell me after
secret,
I die.
that's all.
I mean, I'm sure you could find it at some point.
So that thing might have won the Tour de France at one time.
Exactly. Exactly. But now people all over the world play it. So it was really also very interesting to be in an innovative situation. And like when I first started playing it, I was like, this is the harp of the future. Come on, everybody. And then it was like, well, wait, where's everybody? Like I could see that, but others couldn't. It didn't make sense to them. And finally it started catching on. And when it caught on, I was like, what happened? Was it this last version? I mean, like what made the difference? Because then it was like there was a 6-month waiting list to get one. And he said, no. What happened was you've been playing this in the public eye for a generation. That's how long you've been doing it. And little kids grew up seeing you do this, and now they are like, at first it was just like, well, that's what Deborah does, but now they're like, well, wait a minute, maybe I could do that. So if you go on YouTube, you'll see all kinds of people doing this, plus other instruments that are similar to this, which and part of me is just like jealous, like, well, wait a second, that's my instrument. But I mean, that's the beauty of it. And when you talked about the sound of it and how big it is and how it can make such a big sound, that's the builder. That's the genius of the builder. And that's one of the things that I also love about the harp community is it's a worldwide community, but we know each other. Like I know the builders and the people who build the harp jewelry and the people who, and it's incredible.
Well, I don't think you wouldn't want the engineering to degrade or change the sound of the instrument. I mean, that would seem to be a danger. That maybe if you use different materials or lighter materials, maybe Maybe
Well,
it would change the resonance of it or something a little
I
bit.
mean, I think that's the genius of the builder because his commitment, and I remember when I was first talking to them about like why are you doing I mean you're investing all this money in this, like why are you doing this? And they were like, well, this is our mission, is to build the greatest harpists, build the greatest harps for the, to make it possible for the greatest harpists to have self-expression.
Right.
And so they were the ones who made sure that the sound is what it is and that the power is what it is. I was the one who said, like, I gave them the vision of it, but they were the ones who made it
Who
happen.
executed it. Yeah.
And because the head of the company now, Jacques Francois, he is a harp player. He is a harp player and he loves harp players. He loves one in particular. His wife is a harp player, but he loves all of them. And so this is what's so amazing is that, okay, so when I write music now, I wrote it for myself, but I want it to give other people self-expression. So now my music, other people are playing it. I think that's their same thing. Like I love it. I go on YouTube and I see somebody taking a piece of mine and they're doing it with flamenco dancers, or they're doing it with they're just super self-expressed,
Right.
win some contest, and it makes me really happy. Or like what happened in Ukraine recently, where it was adapted for the national instrument, the bandura, and so it's not just being played, but it's being played as an act of resistance against despair.
Yeah.
So the music, so that just makes me like, yes, that's why I made it. And I believe that is how the harp builders feel when they build their instruments to give a voice to the player.
It's immortality.
Yeah, it's immortality, and it's also extreme experience in the moment because they're making that possible. And of course, the harp is so resonant that when you're hearing it, you're not just hearing it, you're feeling it.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's
yeah,
it.
they're building that word that you said, and presence,
Immortality.
immortality and absolute presence. And
Yeah.
you put those two things together and you're just in that sense of like, wow, I'm here and I'm here.
You know what that word immortality reminds me of? That TV series Highlander.
Mm-hmm.
And the band that composed the music for that was Queen. And they happened to be in our Elite Eight mini bracket. So,
real quick, before we get started on the Elite Eight,
I love that segue.
I wanted to.
Done.
I know that was beautiful, but I'm the squirrel.
I almost got it out before it.
Whoever played Cincinnati Hall or Cincinnati Music Hall?
Wait, you're going to ask me something about popular culture, and I am going to know nothing.
No, just Cincinnati. Oh yeah, no, okay.
We can
But
forego
have
the
you
Elite
played
Eight.
at Cincinnati? Have you played in Cincinnati?
Oh, have I played at Cincinnati? I don't think I have. I was trying to think of like where have I played in Ohio, and I have been in Ohio, but I can't. I don't know if I've played in Cincinnati.
Well, we had Cincinnati Pops Orchestra.
It's supposed to be one of the most acoustically perfect music halls in the world.
And it's haunted, of course.
Apparently, there's two that have like our rating, and the one in Cincinnati and someplace in Russia. I don't know the name of the one in Russia, but it's got this thing where you can literally whisper on stage, and a person in the very back row of the balcony can hear that whisper.
So we got music hall and we got some knockoff in Russia.
Yeah.
Right. Well, that's really interesting because that's like being inside an incredible instrument. Whoever built that hall.
It is an architectural marvel. It's one of it's the most unique buildings in the city.
They had to they had to have special fabrics made for the seats.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a whole thing.
It's majestic.
So, what amazes me is that happens. That all of that investment, like the investment that a builder makes in the instrument, and the investment that they made, the heart and soul that they made to create that hall, so that we have that experience.
Yeah,
right.
It's incredible.
But we knew the curator of the adjacent building to the music hall, but he had a sad story about his exit from this mortal plane. But so let's get.
Okay.
Why don't we? Instead of doing the Elite Eight, because Deborah, we should mention the name of our guest once in a while.
Deborah Henson Conant.
Yes.
Yes, Henson,
Henson Conant.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I just want to read the one because I'm kind of proud of this because I did a lot. Okay, I did a lot of research to find these pop songs that have harp, and maybe you'll be surprised.
Okay,
if you know some of these.
I got to hear them.
Yeah. So the first one that I brought up was Sukiyaki, and that's one I particularly like, and it's a Japanese folk song that actually Taste of Honey turned into a hit in the 70s. It's kind of an R&B version of it.
Wish I could play it for you. Can you hum a few bars?
I have no idea what it is.
I'm feeling sad and blue. You went away. Now my love is just a rainy day.
I didn't hear these.
Is that
recently?
Is that the Snoop Dogg sample?
Yes. I meant to bring that up when we did the Snoop Dogg episode. God damn. I wish I'd remembered that because that was in my notes. All right.
Okay, I see what you.
Yeah, it's a traditional song. It's like it's been used over and over in Oriental movies. Yes.
Okay, so it'd be like, let's see.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
What's the end?
It's Slick Rick, actually. Yeah.
The end. The end.
Yeah.
The end is. You know what? I don't know.
and I really feel that before I leave, I should sing a little blues for you as well. I just feel that I should. But
okay.
But wait, let's give another elite.
Okay, so one of the other ones was "Love of My Life" by Queen, which is LD's one of our favorite podcast hosts of another podcast, and she loves that song. So,
and it's got a harp in it, or it's about a harp.
It has harp music in it. Yeah. It's used in the song.
And so the way the Elite Eight works, if you were familiar enough with the music in question, you would say, "Oh, well, I like Sukiyaki better than Love of My Life."
Just pick A or B. Yeah.
Right.
Okay. I'm gonna pick C.
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah, and
what are the other songs?
Yeah, I'll just run them down. Here Comes the Rain Again by the Eurythmics. Chariots of Fire, of course.
I got da 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 da.
Yeah. Crazy for You by Madonna. Dog Days Are Over by Florence and the Machine. She's Leaving Home by the Beatles.
Okay, I've heard.
And the song Perfect by Ed Sheeran.
Yeah, I know two of them, I think.
Okay, I'm gonna pick G.
G? Yeah. Okay. Can't lose with that one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That was perfect.
Thank you so much.
So, where can people find you? Do you have a website?
She's going to play some blues for us.
She wanted to do a little blues for us.
I will play a little blues, and I will also say that my website is Hip Harp. That's hip as in cool, harp as in the instrument. So I'm going to play a little blues.
Do you do any rapping with? Do you do any hip hop on your hip harp?
I don't. I don't, and it's a sad thing because I wish I did. Because people are always saying hip hop. She plays hip hop harp, and I'm like, no, I don't. No, I don't.
You'll need to learn a few rhymes.
Exactly. Now, do any of you cook?
Spit some bars.
Are any of you chefs? Are you good?
Well, we're home cooks, and I did go to cooking school.
Okay, all right. So this song is for you.
Aaron bakes a little bit.
Okay, so who's the sous chef? Who is the sous chef in the family?
I guess we sous chef for each other, but mostly he would be my sous chef.
Okay, perfect. So this is for you to sing to her.
Okay.
I'll be your sous chef, baby.
I'll be your sous chef, baby.
I'm gonna slice and dice and chop for you.
I'm gonna slice and dice something for you.
I'll be your sous chef, baby.
I'll be your sous chef, baby.
Gonna clean your counters when I'm through.
I'm gonna clean your counters when I'm through.
I'm gonna scour your skillet. I'm gonna polish your pan.
I'm gonna scour your skillet.
Oh, he's gonna keep singing, right? Your sous chef, baby. Let's start cooking something now.
I'm your sous chef, baby.
Your
All right.
baby. And I preheat your oven every night. I'll just sing 2 verses here. I'll be your sous chef, baby. I'm gonna mix your spices until they bite. I'm gonna peel your carrot. I'm gonna stir your sauce. But when we're in the kitchen, I'll let you be the boss. I'll be your sous chef, baby. Let's start cooking something now. I said, let's start cooking. Let's start cooking. Let's start cooking something now. You're just gonna have to stop me if you need me to stop, because I'll keep going. Turn up the make it savory, sweet, just bring on the chow. Then I'm gonna rice your potatoes. I'm gonna spice your peas. I'm gonna dice your zucchini, slice your cheese. I'll be your sous chef, baby. Let's start cooking something now. I'll be your sous chef, baby. Let's start cooking something now. I'll be your, we can sing this all together, sous chef, baby. Let's start cooking something now. Soup's on, baby.
What were you doing to the carrot?
You don't want to know.
You don't want to.
I think guys should sing this. I don't think guys should sing this to guys.
You don't think you should sing?
I don't think
not?
men really want their carrots peeled.
Okay, you're right. Okay.
Better
No,
than the
it's
zucchini
just-
diced or whatever.
Oh, yeah. I think
I'm
diced
gonna chop
zucchini
your-
would probably bring less imagery.
Yeah.
But
But sometimes
Personally.
you do have to. Anyway, here we
Yeah.
go. So
I don't know. As a vegan, does that make a difference, Aaron?
I'm gonna flip you over till you're thoroughly sautéed. Your chocolate is soufflé, your creme is brulee. So you can have fun with that.
Yeah. We've had a.
It's
your own
funny.
words.
I think that Philip has a very nice voice, and I would love to drag him to karaoke, but he just won't do it. And
Well,
the
look
thing
what he
is,
just
I'm
did.
willing to get up on stage and do karaoke. And as my mother used to put it, and my music teacher and my other music teacher and other people who know me and small children I tried to sing lullabies to. I can hold the note for quite some time. It's just not the right note.
I see. Well, he was just singing to you.
Yeah.
I loved how
It was lovely.
he just took it on. So
Well, I thought you told me to.
Right.
I did tell you to.
Oh, okay.
And then
Now,
you
if I told him
learn
to-
it, and then you can
But-
sing it in the kitchen.
Yeah.
But you see, that's the thing. He could sing it in the kitchen, but he's not going to sing it at karaoke.
I've
It's
never
not
done a
gonna-
karaoke.
He's not going to
Well,
go in
which would
front
you-
of an
which would-
audience.
Which would you rather have him do? Sing in front of an audience or look at you like he just did with love in his eyes and sing it to you?
There you go. Got your dream come true.
32 years?
She preferred to torture me in front of the karaoke guy.
Kind of, yeah.
There is that. There is the joy of that.
Yeah.
Well, and I don't think of it as torture. I think he'd enjoy it if he did it. And that's the thing. A lot of the times, I'll suggest we do something.
Maybe
he's like,
maybe the torture is when you sing, Lisa.
and then half the time, right, exactly.
You
Wait
sing
a
like a
minute.
bird.
Are we on Family Feud or are we on?
Aaron is
Well, we've
Aaron's
had,
the
yeah.
little brother.
I just know she's literally tone deaf, so
Yeah, I've been tested. It's been it's official.
So you might want to like
but-
carry around a card, like official. I am officially tone deaf.
I'm not that.
A card carrying tone deaf person.
All I do is introduce myself as left-handed by trying to shake hands.
All right.
So,
Okay.
Well, this has been.
You're making me think of one last thing I want to tell you, which is that as far as my cooking goes, I actually have a museum of my food, and everyone can go look at it. And yes, yes, I'm quite famous as a cook, and it's called the Burnt Food Museum. And I'm serious. You can go to burntfoodmuseum.com and you can see my cooking as well as cooking that other people have sent me. And I'm not soliciting, people to send me burnt food, but they do that from time to time.
Well, it's probably really well preserved in its burnt state, I would imagine.
In fact, you can eat it forever or not eat it forever.
Well,
at the end of our theme song, there's a grill exploding behind Phil in the video.
Right. You'll see that when you rewatch the episode.
But
Lisa's grandmother used to use the fire alarm as a
smoke alarm.
Right.
Was her timer.
Right.
Yeah. The funniest story about that is my brother was living with my grandmother for the summer, and he was outside playing with his friends, sports, whatever. And he heard the smoke alarm, and he said, "I gotta go. Dinner's ready." And his friends thought he was dissing his grandmother, and they were very, don't diss your grandmother, this kind of thing. And then my grandmother comes to the back door and says, "Danny, didn't you hear the smoke alarm? Dinner's ready." I love that story.
That whatever works. Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I once found a Christmas card or a birthday card that said, "My cooking improved when I stopped using the smoke alarm as a timer."
I see.
And I sent that to my aunt, and she, she loved it.
Well, it's amazing. There was a time of life where I really did burn everything, just because I think when I
started paying attention.
I would get very involved in other things. It all started with some hot apple cider. I got a phone. I was making hot apple cider. I got a phone call, and someone I never expected to hear from, and I was just talking to them. And then when I came into the kitchen, there was black smoke all the way, like almost down to the floor.
Oh my God.
But when I got through it, there was this incredible, you can see it at the website, this beautiful hot apple cinder. It was like freestanding. And it was gorgeous. And that's how I started building the museum. And then I started realizing, I'm actually burning more things. I think of it as a creative thing. I think of it as instead of throwing it away, you do something that you didn't mean to do, but then you realize, wait a minute, this could be a piece of art. This could connect with people. And what could connect with people more than what you do wrong?
Petrified food.
Exactly.
Yeah. Petrified
I know
food, it might be art.
A lot of people think that my bacon is burnt, but I think it's perfect.
I see.
And that's what matters.
Exactly. Yeah. Well,
that doesn't sound vegan at all.
This was
it's not.
Really
we don't serve that when you're here.
It has been fun. This is our most fun episode of 2026 by far.
Wait a second.
No, we'll say 5 years. We've been doing this for 5 years.
Yeah.
We really enjoyed this.
This has been fun.
Yeah.
Well, I really enjoyed it. I'm excited, and I'm excited to be playing live and to get the chance to come on and let people know about that. So my next show is on the 31st of January. And what I love about live is it's live.
Yeah.
Like we were here live. And
live.
Yeah.
Well, we'll keep an eye out. Maybe you'll come through.
Where's your show on the 31st?
It's in the Boston area at a place called the Center for Arts in Natick. It's a really beautiful listening room.
Cool.
And again, people, the easiest thing to do is just go to my website, Hip Harp. You can always remember that. Hip is in cool, harp is in the instrument. Hip is in cool, harp is in the instrument.
It's like cool.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
Hip,
cool squared.
Harp. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you, listeners, for tuning in. We have been talking to Deborah Henson Conant.
Well done.